What is the solution? What is the fix? Every video has told us not to, damn it, what do I need to do? Well, you guys, first thing you have to do is figure out how to have conversations and how to ask people questions for free. But moreover, we have to take some accountability. Now, in this video, we are going to have some very, very unpopular opinions, and it's going to cause you to really look in the mirror and take accountability. So leave me a comment, even if you don't like it, for the sheep, because this channel is not for the weak. Okay, I am creating leaders. This is not for Marion or Little Lamb. So comment so we can get in the algorithm. And if you don't know what to comment, you know the sheep gonna be coming for your girl. So comment a sheep emoji for me. Thank you. All right, so this client in particular has her hair full of coconut oil. Now, she had been my client for a couple of years, but I only seen her maybe 2 to 3 times a year because she was only really coming to me for my trims, like most natural girls do. And she did the Team Natural coconut oil, drenching her hair in oils, greases, and butters, and greasing the scalp, and all of these things, all of the things, right? And so then when she would come and sit in my chair, it would be literally impossible to get the product buildup out of her hair, right? And she's very, very young, right? She's very, very young. So the thinning that you see around her edges and around her temples is only the beginning stages, right? So hopefully at this point things have changed with her, but as it pertains at this very moment in this video, what we were doing was constantly removing buildup, so much buildup. And at this point it looks like I'm actually doing something, but to be honest, I'm not able to even really get her hair wet. It's taking so long for her hair to get wet because there's so much product on her hair. There's so much product on her hair, right? So the first thing that I am going to do is clarify her hair shaft. But people have a lot to say about my hair. So this is my hair right before I get ready to wash it. So it's really, really oily. But this was my hair at the end of July. All right, so it's just really quick. All right, and you know, this was right before I did my trim and all of that jazz. I cut my hair all the time. If you want to know more about my hair, check the playlist in the description box below. Oh, your girl need a haircut. Okay, so the next question that was asked, what? Girl, where are the older women with thinning hair, dark skin, with 4C hair? Please make a believer out of us. And this is the unpopular opinion that you guys are not gonna like. The main reason that it's really hard for women to really grasp hair care is because you guys believe a false narrative. Like, nobody speaks of hair care or doing their hair or understanding the human scalp in any scientific realm, right? Nothing that matters. Even this question is like, oh, women who have dark skin with 4C hair. Well, the color of your skin has nothing to do with the rate in which your hair grows or the rate in which you're able to retain length. And 4B, 4C, 4D isn't real. A man named Andre Walker made it up in the early 1990s. He was Oprah Winfrey's hairstylist, and he made it up to sell a hair product. And did you know that originally he didn't even include 4s? It was only 1AB, 2AB, 3AB. That was it. So here are some women who have what you guys classify as 4C hair with CCCA, which is a form of alopecia. So here it is to answer the question. And these things happen because of patterns. Right now, CCCA is just one of many forms of alopecia. So when I made the last video about CCCA, so many people were like, oh no, it comes from weaves. Oh no, it comes from this and it comes from that. Y'all, there are so many different forms of alopecia. When we're talking about the type of balding and thinning that comes from weaves, my baby, we're talking about traction alopecia. We're not even talking about CCCA. That's a completely different form of alopecia. And these are the things that we have to think about, because it is our patterns and routines and the lack of accountability that we have to change those patterns and routines that get us into this place. So when we have comments like the one that started the video, like, oh, you telling us all of the stuff what not to do, but what are we supposed to do? You're supposed to keep it simple. It's not rocket science. Like, it's not a big deal. It's really not. So if you want somebody to break it down for you step by step, me to hold your hand all the way through, then you join the 7-day challenge, or you join the growth cycle blueprint, or you get some of my ebooks, right? Or if you want to put everything together yourself, you take the time and you watch all of the hundreds of videos that I have that break everything down, right? So now at this point, we are doing another clarifying shampoo where I am getting in there and breaking up things as the best that I can. Now, a lot of people would be in the comments saying, oh, why don't you just use apple cider vinegar and all of that? That is because the epicuticle layer of my client's hair is very important, and because of her team natural practices, her epicuticle and her cuticle layer is already deteriorated already. So at this point in her appointment, I am giving her an artificial cuticle for a second, temporarily, with the products that I'm going to use, because it's been destroyed by her team natural practices. All right, if you want to know what the epicuticle is, then make sure you look in the description box below. No, this isn't something that you would necessarily learn in cosmetology school. A lot of people say, oh, like, oh, San, a lot of cosmetologists don't know what you know. Well, I'm not just a cosmetologist, so don't expect your cosmetologist to know everything up under the sun if she didn't go to school to further her education. Now, what you're looking at right now is a Demodex mite. Demodex mites live all over the human body. Everywhere you have a sebaceous gland, which is all over your whole body except for the palms of your feet and the palms of your hands, right? The soles of your feet and the palms of your hands, there's a Demodex mite. And what you see the Demodex mite doing is crawling inside of the hair's follicle and eating the sebum that lives within the hair's follicle, because that's what the Demodex is there to do, to eat sebum, right? And it burrows all over the body because you have sebaceous glands everywhere. And this is how they look in the lashes. So your girls that always have lashes on and you think that's extra sleep in your eye, no, baby, those are Demodex mites eating the sebum that also lives on the lash line, and then you end up getting an over infestation. But I need you to understand, the same thing that's happening on the eyelid is also happening on the scalp, right? And this is how it looks on the eyelid, like, but under an electron microscope, right? In a second, I'm going to show you how this actually looks on the human eyelash. But the same thing that is happening on the eyelash is happening on the scalp, right? But it's happening under the skin. This is how the Demodex mites look, and once they explode on the eyelash, that is actually what it looks like. I had somebody that I had to block. They were like, you're a liar, that's lice. No, it's not. And this is the end result to an over infestation of Demodex mites and so many other things that are caused and triggered by inflammation. And what is the trigger to the inflammation? Your greases, your butters, your oils, you not properly washing your hair, you deciding that you're not going to use shampoo, you're just going to use apple cider vinegar, you deciding that you're not going to actually use shampoo, you're just going to co-wash your hair. It gives you an over infestation of these mites. And as a result, you get thinning and balding and things of that nature. Now, I tell people all the time, hair weathering takes anywhere between 6 months to 25 years to show up. When I say that, the first thing you want to think of is, ooh, well, I've been natural for 6 years and nothing's happened. When I say it takes 6 months to 25 years, that's not the second that you wake up in the morning and decide that you team natural. That could be your hair is fighting against your practices for 2-3 years, for 7-8 years, and then one day the hair's cuticle can no longer take it anymore, and then hair weathering starts. So you can count hair weathering. You've done it for 10 years. Hair weathering begins. That 6 months to 25-year period starts after you've been doing it for 6 years, or after you've been doing it for 10 years, and then the process of weathering starts. So when you comment and say things like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about because I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm fine. Well, I'm no longer behind the chair, but I still service my clients. And the majority of my clients are between the ages of 50 and 75. Because trust and believe, a woman in her 70s still wants to have hair, and they can still reverse their balding, their alopecia, when they change their practices. And even women in that age group still have to have accountability. They have to really accept the fact that they don't know everything. How could you? You've never been to school to do hair. Why would you know everything that there is to know about the human body and about the human scalp when you've never studied it, right? So these are things that I really, really want us to think about. And I really, really want these videos to be a mirror for you, right? When you can look at the women in these videos, or look at the examples that I'm giving you, listening to the things that I'm saying, and really be able to have a notebook, maybe even a journal, where you sit down and really say, okay, this is where I messed up. I was doing too much. I have been using entirely too much product on my hair. I really do need to make some changes. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. The only way that you gain wisdom is through your experience. But how can you gain wisdom through an experience when you're never accountable about the things that you did right or the things that you did wrong? You'll never know, right? So this is why it's really, really important. Even shampooing your hair. When we're talking about Demodex mites, you will never get rid of them. Ever. You'll never get rid of them. Even once you get them off of your scalp, they're on your forehead. They're on your face. They're all over your body. They're a part of your body's natural floral. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. But what you can do is keep them balanced. You can keep it clean, and you could not feed them and allow them to colonize. Because you want to know what their favorite food is? Oil. So the oils, the greases, the butters that you're putting in your scalp, it is not better than the natural sebum that our creator made to come out of your body naturally. Think about it. You could you'll wash your face, right? And when you go to sleep and wake up in the morning, all you've been is sleep. You'll wake up and you'll have an oily face. Where did that oil come from? Baby, that's the same sebum that is coming out of your scalp. There's no space between the skin on your face and the skin on your scalp. The same sebum, the same oil that's on your nose in the morning when you wake up is the same oil that's on your scalp when you wake up, but you'll never know, because as soon as you wash your hair, you grease your scalp. As soon as you wash your hair, you put coconut oil, a bunch of grease, and a bunch of oil. Okay? Oils are sealants. So if you put oil on your hair, especially something like coconut oil, like she did, coconut oils are comedogenic, which means they block the pores and follicles. The reason that the chemist that made putting coconut oil in your hair made it go viral is because she doesn't look at hair or chemistry from a holistic practice. She only looked at it like, okay, here are the properties of coconut oil. Coconut oil, it ends up, it's hydrophobic, so it's going to block in the moisture, it's going to block in the hydration, it's going to block in the water, and by it blocking in the water, it's going to help your hair. Yeah, That's true. It will. The coconut oil will block the hair's cuticle. It'll block the follicle. It'll do all of those things to hold in some of the water that you put in it. Absolutely. But to look at hair care holistically means to look at every piece of it. So that's not looking at it as a holistic practice, because all you're thinking about is what the coconut oil is going to do to the hair shaft, which is holding on to hydration. But holistically, what about what the coconut oil is going to do to the scalp? Because yeah, it's locking moisture in. Why? Because it's comedogenic and it's gonna block. But by it blocking the follicle, it's also causing inflammation. It's also feeding all of the parasites that live there. It's also creating a free-for-all in the hair's follicle. And guess what? Those Demodex mites are still in there. So when you put coconut oil on the scalp and you block the follicle, you trap Demodex mites in the follicle. They're still going to eat until they get full, and then they're going to explode. And then the same thing that was on the hair, on your eyelash, the same thing that was on the eyelash is now trapped within the follicle. That's why you have burning in your scalp all the time. That's why your scalp is sensitive to touch. That's why when you touch it, it hurts. I'm telling you what I know. And see, across social media, you guys are searching for videos because you want to know, oh my God, what can I do to make my scalp be less red? What can I do to calm the inflammation? Oh, Sin, what if I put this oil on it? Will that calm the inflammation? What if I do this? No. Do you want to know what'll calm the inflammation? What I'm doing to her hair right now? Shampoo. When you've been to a salon, right, a good one, I'm not talking about the dusty ones. I have a video on that coming soon, a reaction video. Actually, I know it's some dusty hairstylists out right now. I know. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a good one, a really, really good cosmetologist that you've went to. She barely put any products in your hair, and your hair was so bouncy. It has so much movement. It had nothing to do with the products that she put in your hair. Absolutely nothing. And these are things that I want you to think about. The only time that you guys have a whole bunch of products like this loaded up in your hair is when y'all go to Team Natural salons. You go to a Team Natural salon, oh yeah, my baby, they gonna put half of the bottle in your head on your appointment, and trust and believe you gonna walk out of there buying some product from them, because it's a money grab. And I don't care what anybody says, it's a full-fledged money grab. But in a regular salon, you will never see us use this much product. That's why it's funny to me when I hear people say like, oh yeah, I didn't go to a regular cosmetologist because they weren't trained to do natural hair. Baby, the only thing natural hair stylists do is slap a bunch of products in your hair, wet it down, finger detangle, randomly cut your hair without any form. Like, they don't cut hair the way we learned in school at all. Everything is made up. It's all going to technique. All of your money is going to somebody's made up technique. There's no scientific backing behind anything that they do. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't. I want y'all to notice that none of y'all at Team Natural people have ever came on my channel saying anything. I swear to God, on my daddy's ashes, I wouldn't delete it. Oh my God, I'm from the D. I would love for it to happen. Oh my God, but it never will. It never will. It'll never happen. And these are things that I really need y'all to understand, because it is very, very muddy. The water's so muddy. People are so confused because everybody just makes up things as they go. So it looks like there are two different sides to the hair industry. No, there's one side to the hair industry, and then there's a side that a lot of cosmetologists started switching over, folding, and making stuff up along with everybody else to sell products, right? Yes, a lot of cosmetologists that don't identify as Team Natural hairstylists sell hair products. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. But it's never mandatory for you to go home from a regular salon with hair products. It's never mandatory. It's never mandatory for you to go home. But oh baby, it's mandatory. There's no way that you can maintain whatever style that you got at a natural hair salon without piling products in your hair. That's a problem. And the thing is, if you don't agree, that's fine, right? That's fine. Different strokes for different folks. And this isn't your tribe. That's why I said these are going to be some unpopular opinions that are going to make y'all uncomfortable. And hey, sorry, why are you here? But at this point, I've washed her hair quite a few times. I remember initially in this video when I initially posted when it was initially uploaded, I ended up cutting out 4 of the shampoos. I could be honest and say I was so irritated. I'm just being honest. A lot of cosmetologists won't say it, and maybe they all don't feel this way. I did not go to school to wash nobody's hair 20 times. Washing somebody's hair 20 times and it's still not being clean because of the type of products that you put in your hair, it's not normal. That's my old intro, and I'm not stopping the video and editing it out. So this is one of my regulars. We are actually still friends now. Hi, Bill. I actually just talked to her earlier today. Funny. Anyway, so she was not team Naturalin, right? But it's Vegas, stuff happens. She had a lazy couple of days where she didn't comb her hair. Okay, sis was just getting up, going to work, brushing her hair, putting in a ponytail. So we had some matting, right? But every stylist has different techniques, right? And the way that one of my instructors taught me as it pertains to the hair shaft and when it is its weakest and different things of that nature, it goes differently from wet to dry. So you get the majority of the knots and tangles out on wet hair, and then there's another process that I was taught to follow to minimize breakage, right? Once I dry the hair, because there will still be a couple of tangles left, but because of the way that I detangle and the way that I blow out, the hair that is left is already like in, I don't really want to use the word knot, because that would mean it's tangled. It's not in a knot. It's almost like it'll almost just like be sitting on top of her hair, so it'll look like I'm combing it out harshly with a rat tail, but it's not harshly at all. It's just moving really fast, and her hair is literally, the hair that needs to come out that was matted is literally going to be sitting on the top of her dried hair shaft. But you'll see what I mean in a minute, or at least kind of sort of see it a little bit. So at this point, her hair has already been detox, clarified, deep conditioned, but we didn't have to do too deep of a detox because, like I said, she was a regular client of mine, so we didn't have that problem at all. So like I said, you can make mistakes. Like, we make mistakes. Like, hair grows back, is not extremely fragile the way that people try to make it sound, especially when it's strong. Her hair was strong. So, well, it still is. What I'm saying was, like, she ain't around no more. Like, her hair is strong. So I was able to handle this with no problem. And I want y'all to pay attention to the way that I detangle hair. I hold it at the root firmly with one hand, and then I detangle from the roots at the ends. This way there's no tension going anywhere on her hair. There's no hair that's going to be pulled from the root, so the only hair that I'm getting rid of is the hair that is already detached itself from the root, right? So yeah, that is the way that things would always go down. And it may look like it to somebody, but my round brushing process was very, very painless, very seamless, right? And for this reason, like, her hair was very, very thick, full of body and all of the jazz, right? You could kind of see sort of kind of right there where the matting is, because of course, if you are like just getting up on a daily and putting your hair in a ponytail, the last place that you comb it is the middle of your hair. Like, you smooth out the edges and stuff like that and brush it all around, and then just put it back in a ponytail. So of course, if you're adding like water or extra products to your hair or whatever, that is gonna make it mat up in the middle. And even if you don't add water, because she wasn't a water person, more like gel and stuff like that, lot, but just a little bit. Either way, it's gonna make your hair revert back. Not to mention, at this time, we're in Vegas, right? We're in Las Vegas, so it's like 100 degrees. So even if she doesn't put any product in her hair, if she's putting her hair in a ponytail every day, she's gonna sweat in the middle, and the water is gonna make her hair revert back. So that's why the hair that you are seeing me pull out of the comb is the hair that was sitting on top of her hair. So as you see, I just pulled it out. I wasn't sitting there like harshly combing anything out. It was just sitting on top of her hair. So I was just able to go through. The reason that I did it with a rat tail is because the teeth are closer together. But the way that I do her hair, using the rat tail isn't a problem because her hair is already detangled. Right, and the only thing that is in there is the hair that is sitting on top of her hair shaft. So I really hope that makes sense. In the new course that I have coming up, I think I'm going to go a little deeper into things like that. So let me know if you guys will be interested in a course like that. There are a couple of little places like you're seeing right now that I probably went in and was like, okay, I can try to get a little bit more of that out before we get done. But like I said, she's my boo. So it didn't matter. Things happen. So I'm not saying like all the time, every time, like, oh my God, if you got matting, I'm irritated. I just mean if you don't even attempt to get it out, like if you don't even attempt to get anything done, those are the things that I'm talking about. So as it pertains to her hair and the way that everything turned out, it ended up not being as difficult as it may sound, but you can see right there where her knotting and tangles were. Believe it or not, it was a lot worse than that before we started. But like I said, her hair was already wet when she got there. Well, in that area. So that's why it couldn't be like, oh, it was you washing it that made it matted. No. That's not what happened. So at this point with me round brushing, most people be like, oh my gosh, you're gonna round brush matted hair. Yes, because I know what I'm doing and I have a specific technique that I use to get it out. And I'm not telling you to do it because you don't know what technique I'm talking about. But if you watch to the end, you're going to see how her hair isn't damaged or broken off at the ends or anything like that. But it definitely drove me crazy. My husband just walked in like, oh my God, I did not know you was recording. So this is where the matting was. Keep in mind, this video is being sped up like times a bunch. So I'm not being rough or hard on her hair. I wish I had an up close video to show you what I'm talking about how it's sitting on top of her hair and not, I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. But we got all of the matting out. And again, just imagine like a top knot bun, or not necessarily a top knot, but like where this matting is being the middle of the ponytail, that's where it was at. But again, we were able to get it out. As you can see, she's still telling me a story. I'm not hurting her. Where I'm holding it at the top, that is where all the tension, like anything that you think is pulling or hurting her, all of that tension is resting on my hand. I really hope it makes sense. It's physics, baby. Do some math, huh? Yeah. So anyway, the more that you comb out the hair, making sure that you hold on to the root, you're not going to be detaching any of the hair that hasn't already detached from the scalp. So all I'm going to be getting rid of is the shed hair that is tangled up. So as I'm holding it, the reason that I'm using this comb is because the teeth are small enough. So what I'm doing, you know how when you're detangling your hair, how you go from your ends up to your roots, with the rat tail, I'm starting at the end of the mat and moving it down the hair shaft. I really hope that it makes sense. And again, you'll see in a second how her ends look. She barely needs a trim after this. So this is not a method that is gonna break your hair off like crazy, but understand, I am not trying to give y'all a tutorial on how to have matted hair and how to get rid of it quick. I'm not trying to say, oh, sis, we can go a long time without combing our hair because all we got to do is this. No, that is not what I'm saying. And she was getting a lecture the whole time. Like the whole time. The person I am with y'all, I was like that in person. See, like she laughing and giggling because my boo was in trouble. Okay. But anyway, it was short trouble. But anyway. So now at this point, as you can see, we are pretty much done and through with the matting as we get through to the rest of her hair. The client that you're seeing walking around, I think I already washed her hair and she's under the dryer. I'm going to leave her video link in the description box because I think I just put her video back up on the channel too. But you can clearly see, oh girl, my room is dusty than a mug. I swear to God, I wasn't trifling, but I was trifling this day. That's not true. It's more matting. Girl, you was stressing. I think you was stressing me out this day because it was everywhere. But we got it done. It was okay. We got it done. But of course, it was not a regular thing. I did her hair for years, and this is the only time this ever happened. So again, when I make videos about matting and tangling, I'm not trying to say, oh girl, go jump somewhere off of something if your hair gets matted or tangled. That's not what I'm saying. Things happen. Players mess up, but don't make it a repetitive cycle. Don't make it something that you always do. Not to mention, this was one of my regulars, so she was in team natural and all of that stuff. That wasn't a thing. Sis just had a little hiccup. And that's what I'm here for. Players mess up. So I didn't have a problem when my clients made mistakes like this. It would just be when it would just be blatantly like, girl, I ain't comb my hair in 6 months. Sis, not like that. Not at all. Like, she's a businesswoman. Okay. She wasn't being dusty. Stuff just got real. Okay. So let me know what you think so far in the comments. Let me know what's going on, how you're feeling. This is another client that came in, but I had already got my last one out. Girl, I get stuff done. But like I said, she was my boo, so it wasn't a big deal that my schedule got thrown off a little bit because she was like, oh girl, I already know. So we were working it out. We were going in between, but I still wasn't behind. My clients would be early and super cool, right? So it was never a problem. But at this point, I am, as you can see, straightening her hair. All I'm using now is heat protectant. I've been using the same products forever. Like, it's never going to be anything different. It's only going to be either Kimra, or if you see a pink bottle, that'll be when I had my product line. Nothing happened. It didn't go under anything like that. I just don't want to sell hair products. I just don't. It's not in my heart. I don't have the patience. I just don't want to. But anyway, her hair is looking really, really good. Right now, you can't see her ends because of the black cape, but you will be able to see them in a second. But so far, right, while we're on here waiting to see these ends, let me know, how do you feel? How do you feel right now? Like, did I go a little too hard? Did I hurt your feelings? I didn't mean to. Don't be in your feelings. And again, if you have been watching so far, if you are still here, that means you love me. And if you don't know what to comment, then just leave me a little sheep emoji. Bah! Just in case, it'll encourage me if I have to block any of Mary's little lambs in the morning. So leave some sheep emojis, because the little lamb's gonna be coming for your girl. Okay? So anyway, as you can see, she is a beauty, right? And her hair is still very, very healthy. She still has a beautiful shine and luster in her hair. You are not seeing like any frizz from her broken or split hair shafts, like nothing like that. She still has all of the luster and shine. This video is about 6 years old. It's probably about 7 years old. So the quality, I am sorry, like it looks kind of dark, but I don't want to mess around with it too much. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, at this point, we are just simply finishing everything off, right? The majority of the work is done with the blow dryer. Now I am just making sure that everything is on an even cue. So we had not serious breakage, but just a little bit, like a little bit, right, from those practices and those patterns. But more than anything, we were more focused on the length than anything else. And what was crazy, what she just said, when I remember this vividly because she was my client for so long. When she wrote me, she was like, saying, my hair is so matted, we're gonna have to cut it off, like we gotta cut it. So when you just saw her do that thing with her hand, she was like, I was about to tell you, like, just cut it in a bob, we could just cut it in a bob. And I was showing her, girl, we don't have to cut nothing in no bob. I got the sauce. I'm saucy. I can get it done without cutting all your hair off. But mentally, because she knows how I get down, if it's damaged, girl, I'm not about to play with this. So she had already told herself mentally, she walking out with a cute bob. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's not what we're doing. So that's stuff that I really, really want you guys to get into, right? I really want you guys to understand that slowly but surely you can repair your hair. Slowly but surely you can remove knots and tangles without smothering your hair in product, right? I hope that you guys notice like how healthy her hair is still, and I hope that you notice the very, very minimum amount of product that I used. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, even though I'm never really active over there. But follow me over there and I'm gonna get more active just for you. If you are interested in the 7-day challenge, make sure you check the links in the description box. Or if you want to learn more things, head over to my website, check out my free blog posts, check out my ebooks, join some of my courses, and just look around the channel, right? Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of this video. Let me know what you think about how her hair turned out. I just loved doing her hair because it was just so beautiful and so pretty. Yeah. So again, I love you guys so much. This is the old intro and I'm not taking it off right now. I just don't feel like it. But let me know what you think about this video. Check out the description box, and until next time, bye.